if we want to change our results, we have to change what we think. Hello, how are you doing? This is Guillermo Serrano. I'm a Proctor Gallagher consultant, and I help to facilitate the program called Thinking into Results. Thinking into Results is a program that Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher created, and it's basically 60 years of experience of Bob Proctor put in that program. That program allows anybody to manifest the results that they want. So as Bob Proctor says, tell me what you want and I'll tell you how to get it. Today, you will see something, a representation that we call a stick person. And that stick person is something that Dr. Thurman Fleet created in 1934 because he realized that when somebody asked you about the mind, a lot of people don't understand exactly or don't have a picture of the mind. And if you think about it, we think in pictures. We actually think in pictures. When somebody asks you about your car, that picture of the car comes up in your mind. When somebody asks you about your refrigerator, a picture of the fridge comes up in your mind. When somebody asks you about something, an object or a person, there is that picture in your mind of that object. However, when somebody asks you about your mind, you don't have that picture. And to be honest, most people think that the brain is the mind. However, the brain is part of our body. It is not our mind. Mind is movement. The brain and the body, which is part of it, is a manifestation of the movement. So in order for us to change our results, we need to understand that we have to change the thoughts in our mind. So let me explain you something. We have, first of all, this big circle represents the mind. This is what we call the stick person, okay? And this big circle represents the mind. This is the picture of the representation that Dr. Thurman Fleet in 1934 created. And he said, there is two parts of the mind. There's actually more, but in order to understand it simply, we will, Dr. Fleet created this stick person. So there's two parts of the mind. One is the conscious mind, and there's also the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the thinking mind, okay? It is the educated mind. So all the books, all the titles that we have, everything that we study, and all the information that we receive through those sensory factors, these antennas, they're called sensory factors, which is our five senses. And that is what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and what we touch. And those sensory factors are hardwired to our conscious mind. And that's how we get information from the outside world. However, that is not the mind that causes the body to move. It is actually the subconscious mind, the one that causes the body to move. And that subconscious mind is what we call the emotional mind. The active mind is the one that is responsible for our behavior, okay, our actions. So, in order for us to change our results, we need to understand that there's energy, there's information coming through us, to and through us, through our sensory factors, which is our five senses, okay? And they actually are hardwired to our conscious mind, and then we gather that information, okay? However, if we repeat that information and we get emotionally involved in that information and we repeat and repeat and repeat that information, then that is impressed upon our subconscious mind, which is the one that it will make us vibrate. Everything is in vibration. The universal law of vibration says that everything is vibrating, and we actually live in a world of motion. So once we get involved in that idea that we actually get through the sensory factors, and we repeatedly go through that information, that's when it is impressed upon our subconscious mind. And then when we get involved in that, that's when it makes us act. Okay, and as we do some actions, the body moves, we get some behavior, and then we get some results. So those results, the law of laws in the universe is cause and effect. So as we implant that cause to the universe, whatever is the behavior that we are getting here, that's exactly the effect that we get from the universe. If you are not getting the results that you want in your body, in your finances, in your relationships, and so on, you must not live by the information you get here. Let's say your bank account is not showing what you want. Let's say your circumstances are not what you want. Let's say you don't have the body that you are looking at the mirror and you don't like that. So that's exactly, that's showing you information through your senses, sensory factors. However, if you understand that we do have intellectual faculties like imagination, like will, like reason, like intuition, like perception, and memory, you can actually use one, two, or several of them to create a picture, to create an image of what exactly you want. What does it mean? Well, instead of living by what you're looking at, let's say the mirror and the body that you don't want, let's say you're looking at the house that you don't want, let's say to look at the bank account, and then having a state of mind that is always thinking of those things that you do not want, you have to understand and you have to use one of those faculties, intellectual faculties, in order to create a picture, a clear picture in your mind, that it will actually help you to have that state of mind based on exactly what you want and not what you're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. Okay? So, for example, imagination, it's a great faculty that it will allow you to imagine something, a better life, a better body, a better finances, a better relationships, see, a better house, a better car, whatever you want. So it will allow you to imagine, and also you can use will. You can use will to stay focused. You can use will to be persistent. You can use will to understand that once you have that picture in your mind that you created with your imagination, and then you stay with it, instead of just going by your sensory factors, what your current reality is, or your current circumstances, you stay with that picture, you focus on that picture, and you stay persistent with the life that you want to create based on that picture that you created with your imagination. And that's how you will eventually get emotionally involved, because through auto-suggestions and through repetition of that picture, of that life that you want and you're imagining, that's how you get emotionally involved in that idea. And then the subconscious mind cannot reject anything. So any instructions that we give to the subconscious mind repeatedly, and we get emotionally involved with it, that really makes us vibrate in a different frequency that we are vibrating right now, because of the results where we want. And then it will allow us to vibrate in a higher frequency. So we will have different actions, but we will have a different behavior, will give us, it will make us have different results, because